Ten.
Take studio.
7, 6.
Stomach camera 1, mics 1 and 2.
3, 2, 1.
Take studio.
Good afternoon, MCHS, and welcome to another episode of MCTV News. I'm your host, Julie Audi.
And I'm Jasmine King. On today's episode, Shalom McNaughton lets us know what grinds his gear about the fast food industry. Brian Beach shows us exactly how painful having your wisdom teeth taken out really is, and my co-host and I will show you how to prepare beef bouillon in our cooking segment, Stir It Up. But first, our top story.
Morinville is home to 3 local dine-in pizza restaurants. Recently, Dan Foley had a chance to visit all of them, judging the pizzas on their texture, taste, and ingredients. His goal, to determine once and for all who is the best sit-down pizza in town. Here's his saucy report.
Including myself, MCTV crew Ryan Beach, Shalom McNaughty, and the pizza wizard himself, Stephen Hoffman, set out to find the finest sit-down pizza restaurant in Morinville. Where better to start than Amanda's Pizza?
For the pizza, it is well cooked. There is a little bit of sauce, but not too much, just about the right amount for me. The cheese was extremely good, and the pepperoni. Everything was well about cooked, and the crust is pretty good so far.
It's very saucy.
Well, the pizza's pretty good. Like Ryan said, the crust is well cooked. Not too much sauce, not too little. It's all right. But I usually came here for a pizza, not for a taco.
Pizza, it's cooked really well. The dough is really nice. The cheese is nice and cheesy, but everyone else gave it a really good review, so I'm gonna have to go and overrule that and say there is Roni under the cheese. 0 out of 10. Next up, we headed down to Sal's Famous.
I know the pizza life. I've worked at a pizza place for a while. The burns you get, it's a warfare out there. You would not... I'm getting flashbacks to the pizza place. Can we stop talking about this?
It was pretty good. Love the dough, the pepperoni, the cheese, everything would work out pretty well.
The cheese melts in your mouth.
Nice and crispy, and it goes well with the pizza sauce and the cheese. I would absolutely say 8 out of 10. But of course, since there's pepperoni underneath the cheese, 0 out of 10. And lastly, we headed down to Chef's Pizzeria. I really like the cheese more than the other pizzas around town.
Overall, the pizza was really good. You could tell that everything was freshly made. Like the sauce, you could tell specifically. It was just different than all the other pizzas that I had so far.
I love it. The crust is, the way I love it, is pretty good. Crunchy. I love the crunch. Like it's homemade. Like we go in the back, you can tell everything is homemade in there. So the sauce, I love the sauce. It has its own, I forgot the word. It has its own herbs.
Welcome back. Every week, members of the MCTV crew, such as myself, are learning the role of being a news anchor on this very set. Today, I'm thrilled to be joined by someone who actually gets paid to do this for a living. Global Edmonton news anchor Kent Morrison is here to tell us about his job and why he decided to get into the field of journalism. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. It's great.
So I hear you've worked for a few of the major Canadian news networks. Are they similar? Are they different? How are they different?
I have. I've worked for 3 major networks, CTV, CBC, and now I work at Global. And there's a lot of similarities between the 3 of them. There's a lot of differences as well. The big difference with CBC isn't funded by the same model that the other 2 private stations are. funded by. So they have a different sort of mandate. They're also a TV station and a radio station. So when I worked there, I got to work in radio and TV. So you kind of bounce back and forth between the two. But for the most part, they're all about telling the news and the stories to the people where they're broadcasting in. So a lot of similarities there. It's a lot of the same type of broadcast. But now everybody's sort of evolving because they're trying to figure out this website stuff, internet stuff. So they're all evolving at a different pace. So there's similar aspects to everything, but everything's a little different too.
As a television journalist, you've probably been exposed to some pretty interesting stories. What have been some of the highlights over the years?
Oh, there's been lots of highlights. Recently, I got to travel with the Canadian military. I flew out with the paratroopers that are based here in Edmonton to Nunavut, and I got to be in the plane when they parachuted out of the plane onto the Arctic ice. So that's one that sticks out for me recently that I got to do. Going further back, when I was in Regina, I got to cover the Grey Cup. The Grey Cup was in Regina. The Saskatchewan Roughriders, who, if anybody who follows football knows, has a rabid fan base. They were in Regina at home, playing at home in the Grey Cup. They won the Grey Cup, so I got to be in the dressing room after the win. I got to be on the streets when everybody was partying out in the streets. So those are two ones that jump off the page right away. I got to interview my favorite baseball player of all time, Joe Carter, who hit the home run in 1993 to win the World Series for the Blue Jays. I got to interview him. So there's all kinds of stuff. That's the cool thing about the job is you never really know what's going to come up week to week, day to day. So sometimes something just jumps out at you and you get the opportunity to do something pretty cool.
Okay. On the Weekend Morning News, you work side by side with Kevin O'Connell.
Mm-hmm.
What's that like?
What's it like? Oh, well, if you watch it at all, you know it's a little bit off the rails. The best thing about working with Kevin is he's exactly the same on TV as he is in person. So he's just as lovable, as laughable as he is on TV. So it's great. It's a great relationship. Him and I have worked it out pretty simple. A lot of people ask, do we often talk about what we're going to talk about on the news? No, we never do. It's just him and I chatting, and I think that's what a lot of people like, is it's just natural. He's just a normal guy. I'm just a normal guy, and we react to things just like you would if you're watching at home. So it's great. To answer your question, it's great. He's a great guy to get along with, and he's a very funny guy too. And a lot of people don't know he sings a lot in commercial breaks. So I'll tell you that now. He's singing all the time when we go to commercials. So that's nice too, because he's pretty good.
Okay. And so what initially got you involved in journalism?
It's a long story. I'll give you the short story, but I like to tell stories. That's the bare bones, the base of it is I really love telling stories. Growing up, I was the kid that, hey, I want to tell you this story. Did you hear this? So that's the very grassroots level of it, is that I always wanted to tell stories. Originally, I liked writing stories. In high school, I was, in English class writing stories. My first job was at a newspaper writing stories, and it wasn't until I got to university that I got this crack at things on TV. And I like telling stories now with pictures and sound, and meeting people and telling their stories. So that's why I got into it. I like to tell stories, and I like to tell them in different ways from last week to the next week. So that's what keeps me in it, is the challenge of making different stories and making them look different.
Okay, and our final question, which I'm sure a lot of people are very interested. What advice can you give to people who aspire to become TV journalists?
There's a lot of things out there that make our business seem unattractive to get into. The pay isn't very good. The hours aren't very good. The outlook right now isn't very good either. But it's the ability to go out and tell those stories and be creative every single day. So if anybody's aspiring to get into it, know that you're going to get the chance to be creative. You're going to get a chance to meet all kinds of people. You're going to get to do a lot of things that push you outside your comfort zone, but it ultimately will help you grow. So if you want to get into the business, my advice would be to just be creative now. Have a goal in mind. Get after it. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid. Just get after it. Chase your dream, whatever you want to do, and figure out the internet, on how to tell stories on the internet, because that is the future of the business. We haven't figured it out yet, so if you're at home or you want to get into the business, figure it out on the internet, and you will have a fantastic career.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you again on our show.
Sounds good.
So Coming up after the break, I'll bring you a look on our 7-day weather forecast, complete with temperatures from across the country.
Yeah, we're going to have to redo this, man.
I think we're gonna have to start over.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's take a look at our Canada forecast. So overall, it seems pretty warm in the southernmost regions, with 17 in Vancouver, 15 in Regina, and 14 in Winnipeg, all of which sunny, chance of clouds-ish. 9 in Whitehorse with the chance of rain, mostly sunny though. 8 in Yellowknife, 6 in Iqaluit, 7 in Toronto with the mix of sun and clouds, 9 in Montreal, sunny, 6 in Halifax with chance of flurries, and 7 in St. John's, also with the chance of flurries. So let's move over to our Alberta forecast. Okay. Overall, pretty warm actually. High level, 19 degrees. Fort McMurray, 18. Grand Prairie, unfortunately, there is a chance of lightning with 21. So, I don't know, warm but raining. 15 degrees in Edmonton, 13 in Red Deer, mostly cloudy. 18 in Jasper. Banff, chance of rain, or snow and rain. Also Calgary and Medicine Hat with 14, 9 degrees, and 9 degrees respectively. So let's take a look at our Airwolf. So overall, actually, it doesn't look too bad. When we took this about an hour ago, there was more clouds than there are now. So I mean, it looks like overall not too bad. So let's take a look at our current conditions. So we have 11 degrees with a chance of sun and clouds. The wind is 9 kilometers an hour. Relative humidity is 70%. Sunrise at 6:05, sunset at 8:59. So let's take a look at our 7 days. It looks like it's going to be very warm next week, with getting up to 27 on Wednesday. So, and it looks relatively sunny as well, except for Friday, tomorrow, a little bit of rain, but I mean, overall pretty warm. Thanks, guys. Now let's go over to Jasmine.
Thanks, Julie. MCTV reporter Shalom McNaughton felt it was time to get something off his chest. His beef, the fast food industry. Why does it take so long to get your food? And why can they seem to never get your order right? Here's the first installment of Grind My Gears.
Welcome to the first time episode of GMG. The show likes to claim about absolutely everything. Why is it that people like you and me that go to Tim Hortons, AEW, and McDonald's that have to pay for crappy service for a job that comes out so simply to doing absolutely nothing besides cooking and cleaning and serving others that come to your facility? Alright, people, this job, it's not that hard. These jobs are simple next to nothing. Yes, I understand you're getting paid minimum wage. I understand you might not getting treated properly. I understand that your job might suck. But you know what? There's tons of jobs out there that suck too. And next few shots, I have a few people. Not just ordinary people, but students. I have people that are complaining about the fast food industry. Let's see what they have to say. Before we get to that, let's talk about my problems about the fast food industry. Every time I go there, they don't give me the proper change back. Where's my nickel? Why every time I go there, they mess up my freaking fries. Every time I go there, they mess up my coffee. Okay, I want to sit down and drink this coffee. Oh! Look, there's sugar and cream! This is on the way back. Huh? Why is it so hard? I have 3 cream, 3 sugar. Alright? That's 3 of everything. That's not that hard. But enough about me arguing about the fast food industry. Let's see what these people have to say. Roll it.
I don't have a particular issue with the fast food industry itself. My issue is people that don't know what they want to order when they're going to a fast food establishment.
People, because they're slow, they don't give me the right amount of change, they always mess up my orders. If I ask for no onions, there's always onions.
2 lanes when you go onto McDonald's, right? So you get in the one lane, but then you do your order and the next guy comes by on the other side and you get up to the window, you get your food, you pay, you're gone, and you find out you got the other guy's orders.
Well, it takes too long for simple things. Yesterday I went to McDonald's and ordered 2 6-piece chicken McNugget meals, and it took us half an hour. It's chicken McNuggets. What's taking so long?
You know what? The amount of time today I made fun of Tim Hortons or Starbucks or any other fast food industry in Canada. It doesn't matter. It still tastes good. Don't stop going there, because, it's not up to me where you go. For next week's episode, I will be complaining about why the online gaming industry sucks. Not just because it sucks, it's because the fact that the internet servers are horrible. Until then, it's been Shalom McNaughton with GMG. Well, in other words, what grinds my gears?
Welcome back. Here's what's happening in the world of sports. In an unusual move, the NHL was still finishing up the last game of the first round of the playoffs on the same night that the second round began. The Game 7 match between Anaheim and Nashville was a close one, with Nashville going on to win the series with a 2-1 victory, as they will face off against the San Jose Sharks. The New York Islanders took on the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first game of the second round. New York came out on top with a 5-3 win as they took a 1-0 series advantage. In the NBA, the first round of playoffs continue with 3 games on tap. The Charlotte Hornets faced off against the Miami Heat, being a close game throughout. The Hornets took a 3-2 series lead with a 90-88 win. Golden State took on Houston, and even without their star, Steph Curry, the Warriors blew out the Rockets 114-81 victory, clinching the series as they will head on to the next round. The Los Angeles Clippers took on the Portland Trailblazers in their home court, but came up short as the Blazers won 108-98, taking a 3-2 series lead. Turning to the majors, the Blue Jays took on the White Sox, and the White Sox ended up sweeping the 3-game set with a 4-0 victory. The San Francisco Giants took on the San Diego Padres and handed them their 5th straight loss, with a 13-9 victory. The Phillies faced off against the Nationals and kept them scoreless with a 3-0 win. The Boston Red Sox faced off against the Atlanta Braves. The Red Sox came on top with a 9-4 win, as the Braves' losing streak extends to 8 games. Baltimore squared off against Tampa Bay. They came out on top with a 3-1 victory, keeping their rank as top spot in the AL East. And finally, the Detroit Tigers took on the Oakland Athletics in Detroit and were victorious with a 9-4 victory. When we were younger, we all have role models we strive to be like, looking up at them as they give great inspirations to not only one person, but many people around the world. Striving to be our role models in all our childhood, saying, I can do all things.
lot of areas where he can really use that skill. Hurry.
Just left a tremendous defender and then bottom the three.
I think it's between Steph Curry and Kyrie Irving.
Curry, pretty fake, pulls up.
A part of that is having the will to succeed. Knowing that you put the work in and have the confidence to let it show. What I tell people is just be the best version of yourself in anything that you do. I was always the smallest kid on my team. When it comes to basketball, I was always the smallest kid on my team. Everything happens for a reason, and there's a story to everything. And if you take time to realize what your dream is and what you really want in life, no matter what it is, whether it's sports, whether it's in other fields, you have to realize that there's always work to do, and you want to be the hardest working person in whatever you do, and you put yourself in position to be successful. And you have to have a passion about what you do. And basketball was mine, and that's what's carried me to this point.
Let's take a look at what's going on around MCHS this week. The MCHS Religion Retreat will be held May 5th and 6th, and it's open to all students from grade 9 to 12 and is a great opportunity to camp overnight, participate in fun activities, and share in faith formation. If interested, grab a permission form from the front office. The MCHS Drama Department presents its Spring Play Sweet Surrender on May 11th at 7 p.m. at the Morinville Community Cultural Center. Tickets are available in the front office for $5. The 2016-2017 registration packages are now overdue. If you haven't gotten yours in yet, please get it to Mrs. Turgeon in the front office ASAP. Pack Day is coming up very soon. It will be held on May 6th. Make sure to sign up soon and to get all your permission forms and fees in before that. May 4th is Morinville's townwide cleanup, so be sure to support both your school and the town of Morinville by doing your part to remove garbage from the surrounding areas around MCHS. On May the 4th is MCHS Annual Clone Day. Grab your friends and dress up as twins, triplets, quads, etc. All participants will be entered in a draw. On May 18th is the Student Council's BYOB, Bring Your Own Banana. Student Council will supply toppings to create your own banana split or sundae. $2 for toppings plus another $1 if you don't want to bring a banana. Need to get your MCTV news fix? If so, head online to www.batterstein.net. Our digital archive is expanding and will soon include all episodes aired from our last 22 seasons. For all this and other school info, keep connected by listening to daily announcements, logging onto the school's website at www.mchs.gsacred.av.ca, following the school on Twitter at MCHS Wolves, or following MCTV News on Twitter at MCHS MCTV News.
Okay, up next we have our new cooking segment entitled Stir It Up, starring no other than myself and my co-host Jasmine King. In today's installment, we'll show you how to prepare the traditional French dish, beef bourguignon. Enjoy.
Step 1. Set oven temperature to 350 degrees Fahrenheit.
Step 2. Cut the fat off of the steaks and cube what's left into small 1-inch pieces.
Step 3. Chop 2 carrots, 2 stems of celery, and 1 large onion.
Step 4. Put all ingredients into a cast iron pot and cook for 3 minutes.
Step 5. Once the 3 minutes are up, take the pot out and add 1.5 cups of red wine of your choice, as well as 2.5 cups of beef broth.
Step 6. Bring pot to a boil, stirring occasionally.
Step 7. Once boiling, turn off the heat and add 2 bay leaves, 2 minced cloves of garlic, a teaspoon of thyme, as well as salt and pepper to taste. Stir to combine, then put the pot back into the oven for 30 minutes.
Step 8. While waiting, cook half pound of bacon. Once it's done, leave the bacon and the grease and cook 4 large sliced mushrooms until tender. Then drain the fat.
Step 9. Once 30 minutes are up, take the pot out of the oven and add the mushrooms and bacon. Stir to combine and put the pot back in the oven for 2 hours.
Serve hot or reheated.
Why do I hurt myself every single?
Have you ever been through a traumatizing surgery or ever wondered what it might be like? Recently, one of our MCTV reporters, Ryan Beach, had 3 of his wisdom teeth removed. He brings us a slightly sarcastic report.
Oh, hello there. I'm Ryan Beach, and today I have something special for you. I got my wisdom teeth taken out over spring break, and I decided to record it for you guys. I got the before scenes and the after scenes of it. The mayhem. I did do a stand-up originally for this, but so much fun. Do you hear the excitement in my voice, people? I'm doing this for you. But yeah, it didn't go so well. And not too long after that, I was out the door on my way to the vehicle that is taking me to the main event of my spring break. I was cool. I was relaxed. I'm not gonna lie to you people. I was panicking. Let's go. When we got there, all I could think of was how big and how professional this building looked. Not too long after getting in there, they made me sign this paper and write out a bunch of stuff. Like this was going to be my death sentence. And my friends also liked to send me support messages before I got in there. It was nice of them. They make you wait so long, and all you can see is this one sign. It was the surgery sign, and it kept making you wonder, am I the next person to go in there? You know, like, you're just waiting for your name to be called. You're like, oh my god, what do I do? After 2 painful hours of waiting, they finally called my name, and I was like, all right, finally, I can stop waiting, and I don't have to listen to anything anymore. They're bringing me in. Do you know what they brought me in for? So now I'm doing a consult right now, and I've got to wait for the doctor. He's going to explain everything to me and what they're going to do to me. Lovely. 10 minutes have passed, and then the doctor comes in.
And how many wisdom teeth do you understand that you have? There's 3. What happened to the other one?
I don't know.
You don't know? Genetic defect, or?
I guess.
Okay. Good. Because what I could do is I could just drill a hole in it and pretend you took it out.
I wouldn't like that. He gave me the longest questionnaire I think I've ever seen in my life.
How's your medical health? Do you take any kind of medication, pills, drugs, inhalers, patches, vitamins, injections, supplements, anything at all?
Nothing recently. And he went on for like an extra 5 minutes. Those questions I showed you were just a fraction of what he asked me. Then he explained to me what he was doing in my mouth.
Yeah, and that's favorable because as the roots get longer, there's a nerve that provides incisions to the lip and chin that runs through this canal in the jawbone here. And that can start to get entangled into that. And same thing with the upper ones.
And after him joking with me and explaining all that stuff and doing the questionnaire, he brought me into the surgery room. They strapped me up. They put me under. And when I woke up and got out to my vehicle, the first thing I really said was,
"That sucked."
Yeah, I was really too tired to talk. It just took a lot out of me that day. Well, I'm Ryan
Beach, reporting for MCTV News.
That's our show for today. Thanks for tuning in. Coming up on next week's episode, I'll be airing highlights from the second week of the school's recent international trip to Japan. Stephen Hoffman will explain to us how the game Dark Souls ruins lives, and Skylar Lomala looks at the speed dating through the eyes of Republican presidential candidates. All this plus your sports scores and Morinville's 7-day weather forecast on our Thursday, May 5th broadcast.
So it seems like our next show is after May the 4th.
Yeah, you know.
Star Wars Day.
You guys be ready for some pretty Star Wars themed shows and pieces and probably outfits, not even gonna lie.
Maybe R2-D2 will show up.
Yeah.
BB-8.
Yeah. So for all of us at MCTV News, I'm Julie Audi.
And I'm Jasmine King. Have a great day, MCHS.